Hello. Okay, so we are gonna make chicken meat stock today. It's in the GAPS diet. It's very healing. And I have found a very straightforward way of doing it that is not complicated and doesn't confuse me. So what we're doing right now is we've got 8 kilograms of chicken wings from Costco, the organic ones. If you can find yourself some chicken feet or some chicken livers, those would also be good to add to the weight. So 8 kilograms of chicken wings. We've got apple cider vinegar. We've got our Himalayan rock salt. We've got peppercorns. We've got bay leaves. And then I've got, all you're gonna need after that is a pestle for the peppercorns and then a tea bag to put the peppercorns in so that you can pull them out when the soup is done cooking. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our chicken wings into our pot. Don't, oh my goodness. Many years ago, I didn't see one of those. It was white or something. And I actually cooked it with that in it. It was when Mela was a baby and I was very distractible. All right, so we take these guys out. This goes in here. Okay, so if I had chicken feet or chicken livers, I would put those in now as well, but I don't. So the pot is only about that full. And this is a 20-gallon pot. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add all of my seasonings. So apple cider vinegar. We're gonna need 40 milliliters of apple cider vinegar.
Mom, can I help you?
I'd love your help. Okay, so 40 milliliters of apple cider vinegar. So we're just gonna measure that out approximately, and Mela's gonna put it in. Then we're gonna need 60 milliliters of Himalayan rock salt. So I wonder if I can, we're gonna approximate this. Obviously, it's not too important. Whoops, that it's exact. Okay, sprinkle that in there. Then we're gonna use our bay leaves. So our bay leaves, we need.
It smells so good in the kitchen.
Does it? So we need about 6 bay leaves.
Mom, you want me to get them for us?
That would be awesome. Well, how about you sprinkle them in there? Okay, awesome.
One.
That in there.
Two,
All right.
3.
And then we need 60 milliliters of crushed peppercorns. Now, early stages of GAPS, they want you to take your peppercorns out because they're really hard on your tummy. So,
Mom, can I do the mushy?
you want to do the mushing?
Yeah, I really like the mushy.
You like the crunching part?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we take our little pestle and yeah, they like to pop out. So what I like to do is hold one hand over it and then I take the pestle and I just go like this. And that way it stops the peppercorns from jumping out of the mortar. Nice. Yep, go. Yeah. All right, so we're done with the cracking of the peppercorn. And so here we've got the peppercorns, which have mostly, there's a few that are still whole, but you get the gist. You don't have to be exact. So now we're going to put the peppercorns into the tea bags. Definitely use disposable ones just because you're going to be cooking them And so it just honestly makes your life easier if you just put them in. Are you helping? Thank you so much, Mayla. You're such a huge help. I'm grateful for all your help. Okay, let's put one more scoop in this one. Okay. So, and then I'm going to do one more, and then we'll tie it off. And then it'll go in the pot.
Can I put it in the pot?
You can put it in the pot. Yeah, twist it. Hold on.
Can we do this? Can we do them at the same time?
What at the same time?
These two tea bags
Oh.
at the same time.
Yeah, we're going to do that in a minute. So we've got our pot, it's got water in it. It's important to use filtered water to get the chlorine out. Ours is well, so we're lucky enough that we don't have to use filtered water. I'm gonna let this sit, so I'm gonna put it on the stove, but then I'm gonna let it sit for about a half an hour, and that's gonna just help the apple cider vinegar to extract all of the minerals and everything from the bones and get that process started. All right. So our 30 minutes is up. Our pot is ready to turn on. I found some organ meats. So I found some chicken liver. Maybe I'll turn that off. I found some chicken liver and some heart. And so I'm just gonna add that to the pot. Doesn't that just look so appetizing? Yum.
Yeah.
Put the lid on it. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to turn it on to full. And you're gonna come back to me right before it boils, and we're gonna skim the scum. Delicious. All right, here we are. We have almost achieved the boil, and you can see all of this nasty, gnarly scum on the top. So we're just gonna clean that off. So I just go in there with my little strainer, and oh, my kid decided that she would run into the couch. She's all right. She's just processing the pain. All right, we're gonna just knock that off. It doesn't. We don't have to be like too picky, but there's a theory that it makes the broth taste a bit yucky. So we're cleaning the meat apparently. All right, so we are now at a rolling boil. She is boiling. So we've cleaned all that scum off. We've let it come to a boil. Now once it's come to a boil, then I'm just gonna move it onto our back burner. Turn it down a bit, and we want to simmer it. So we just want things to be moving around. We don't want it to be boiling. So I'm just going to move that to the back. Off. And then I'm going to let that simmer. So, somewhere in the low category for 1.5 to 2 hours. And then we'll come back. All right. So it's been cooking for 1.5 hours on a nice gentle simmer. So we're now ready to strain out everything and separate everything. So here's our yummy chicken broth. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of fat on the top, but you want to keep that fat. It's really good for you. We're going to use all of our muscles. And take our little black pepper things out, and bay leaves as you find them. You're going to take those out. Now, it's still really hot. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take out, this is that organ meat. So this is the liver. And there's a heart in here somewhere. Ouch. That's hot. Just because they tend to, there's the heart, dissolve quite easily. So this way I'm keeping them separate. All right, here we go. Oh. There you go. All right, how am I gonna do this? Any thoughts, Liv?
No. Not really.
Okay. All right, let that strain. One day I'll get a better strainer. Okay, this is gonna come. All right. Okay, so now we strained all of this out. So at this point, you've got a really nice chicken broth, and then you've got your wings. Now, you've got a couple of options here. If you want to just call this a day, because that's where you were at, go right ahead. Find, you know, give this back to, you know, the compost if you absolutely have to. Don't feel bad about that. We're all really busy. It's really, really hard to get good food into us, especially when we're busy moms and we got a ton of stuff on our plate. So please don't feel bad if this is as far as you get. This is still really good for you. What we're gonna do though is we're gonna do sort of the next step. So the next step is we're gonna take our chicken wings. They're really hot right now, so I'm gonna let them cool down. But we're gonna take our chicken wings and we're gonna separate them. We're gonna separate them into skin and gristle. So that's like skin and the cartilage and all the yucky bits. And then bone and in another one and meat. So we'll have 3 containers. So one for the cartilage and the skin, a second container for the bones, and then a third container for the meat. Now, what we're gonna do with the skin and the cartilage is we're actually going to blend that all up and then emulsify it into the soup. The bones, if you want, you can go ahead and make a second stock of bone stock. So that's the one that you cook on low for really long, like 6 to 8 hours. And then with the meat, we're gonna just freeze that and then we'll be able to use that for things. I like to use it in quesadillas and then, you know, shredded on chickens, on Caesar salad and stuff like that. So that's what we're gonna do, but for right now, I'm gonna let this cool down so I can actually handle it, and then I'll show you how I separate it. So I let it cool down for about a half an hour. Again, this is our nice stock that is perfectly good all by itself, but we're gonna kind of next level it. So in here I've got that organ meat that I'm gonna end up blending up and turning it into this lovely, delicious looking slurry. So what we're gonna do, you might wanna get in here. I highly recommend doing this either watching a show or listening to an audiobook or something like that, because it's kind of boring. Because basically what you're doing is you're separating it into 3 bowls. So we're gonna do our cartilage. So all of the cartilagey stuff, we're gonna do the skin. So we're gonna pull the skin off. That goes in there. Then we're gonna pull the meat. Meat's gonna go over there. And then the bones go in here. And literally for the next half an hour, that is what I am going to do. And then sometimes I get confused and throw things in the wrong bowl. I make sure there's no bones. Pull out any like meaty bits. All right, so everything's divided. So this is all the yucky stuff. That's all the yucky stuff. This is chicken. So this is just gonna get frozen. So I'm gonna lay it out on cookie sheets and then freeze it. And then these are bones. So what I like to do to get the last little bit of nutrients out of the bones is I'm gonna put them in the pot. And then this is going to turn into my bone broth. So I'm gonna put water in that. And then this is what I'm gonna cook for like six to 8 hours. And then, yeah, but right now it is late. This took me 3 episodes of what was the show?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
This took me 3 episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine to do. So that's an hour. Yeah, and now it's really late. So we're all gonna go to bed. This will go in the fridge. This will go on the stove. This will all go in the fridge until tomorrow. So, à demain. All right, we're back. It's day 2. It's a good thing it was cold outside, so everything stayed cold enough outside. So we've got our cartilage and our skin and all the yucky bits. We've got our shredded chicken, and then we've got the broth, which, if you want to have a look at it, when it's cold, you know you've done it right when it turns into Jello. That is the sign of a good broth. I'm just gonna portion this out into 500 gram doohickeys. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is we're just gonna portion out our shredded chicken. So I like to do 500 grams. It's good for us, for a family of 4 for dinner. So we just get that going on. So there's about 500. So I will label and freeze that. So I've got about 1,600 grams here, so that's about another 3 meals. So I'll have, out of this whole thing, I'll have 4 meals for 4 people, whatever I choose to do with it. All right, so this is probably the most interesting part of making this stock. We're gonna turn this cartilagey, skinny stuff into like a delicious looking mush. So we're gonna use our trusty Vitamix while we're doing that. So I'll just show you how it goes. So we're gonna add a little bit of this. Now obviously this is gonna be way too solid to blend up all on its own. So I add a little bit of this stuff. Oh, there goes a piece of liver. And then I add a bit of our Jello, which it is 100% Jello. All right, so that's about good enough to get us started. So we'll just sort of stir that up a bit, get that going there. All right, turn it on, and it's gonna make a racket. All right, so you are gonna end up with something that looks like this. All right, I got myself another bowl. So this is now done. So it's gonna go into here, like so. And we are going to repeat with the remaining, cartilagey stuff and the broth. So we'll just do that until it's done. This is our last one that we're doing with our collagen rich stuff. So that's gonna go in there. Now, if you run into the situation where I have, where you still have your lovely chicken Jello, as we'll call it, you have a couple ways you can do it. You could keep throwing it in the blender and just sort of like even it out that way, or what I'm going to do is I'm gonna dump all of this into here. Oh, delicious. We've got this sort of like half incorporated business. So now we're going to get our immersion blender on it and emulsify the rest of it. Okay, and so now we are left with this wonderfully rich chicken meat broth, full of nutrients, and we're now going to portion it out and freeze it. And then you can do whatever you want with it. Do yourselves a favor, don't microwave it. The other thing about meat stock is you don't want to heat it up for too long now that it's cooked. So it would be, you know, something that you would just heat up to temperature and then you would consume it. That's going to make sure that you keep all of those nutrients that would normally denature under prolonged heat. That would keep those intact and help to heal your gut. An addendum. If you wanted to, we've got our bone broth going there. You can keep it separate and just use it as bone broth. Or what I also like to do is to incorporate it into this stock. But it hasn't been cooking for long enough yet, so that's why I haven't done it. But if you'd like to, you can fully incorporate it into this and then freeze it and portion it out and freeze it. Okay. Hello. All of the noises.
Okay, I'm gonna be shaking.
This is me walking over here.
Okay. Okay, go.
Oh, there's a flash.
Oh! Ugh!